Let's turn to Tesla. Shares looking to bounce back after their biggest one-day drop since 2020. The stock down nearly 45% so far this year, wiping out its gains since President Trump's election win back in November. Ben Kallo of Baird writing, "We continue to view Tesla as a core holding long-term and see the company as the leader in real-world AI, but a bearish near-term." Ben joins us now for more. Ben, welcome back to the program, sir. You're one of the best, so looking forward to this conversation. Walk me through, just from your standpoint, what's leading this stock lower? Is it something bigger than just the name itself, or is it Tesla specific?
It's market is the backdrop, but Tesla specific. It's delivery numbers. It's as simple as that. For Q1, the stock can't go up until the consensus numbers come down, because there's this narrative that Musk is destroying demand out there. Whether that's right or wrong, they're doing a Model Y refresh across all four factories. And so a Model Y typically has, 300,000 deliveries in a quarter. So let's just take out 2 months of that. So 200,000 cars that aren't being produced or just now being produced. And that's going to be compounded with all the backdrop of, protests and, all the bad stuff going on with Tesla. And it's going to extend that narrative around demand.
But Ben, deliveries have never really mattered, right? I mean, it doesn't seem to matter how much they sell or how much they don't sell. It's always about this faith in longer-term robo-taxis and autonomous driving. Has that belief shifted? Has there been a narrative vibe shift among retail investors that could mean a longer-lasting dip?
I think so. I think that over time we've seen, the lens where Tesla's value to be longer at some points, and when things get bad, it tends to, refocus very short term, and that's where we are right now, very short term focus. And I think that when we get a delivery number that's worse than people are expecting, it's going to be carrying on that narrative of demand being bad because of demand destruction, and that affects the long term story.
Yesterday, Elon Musk was asked on Fox News about how he was running his other businesses while he was engaged in right-sizing the government. And he said, with great difficulty. At what point do people get concerned about the fact that their CEO is distracted and doesn't really have time to manage the company, forget day to day, but even week to week?
Well, it's a good question. It's come up a lot because of SpaceX and his other businesses that he has. Now that he's at Doge and he's spending his time in Washington, D.C., I think it's harder to defend, what he's doing on a day-to-day basis and how much he's, being involved. And you have pundits out there, people that would normally be like on his side saying, like, hey, send me 5 bullet points of what you've done. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but when you have someone that is, well-known in the media saying, hey, why don't you send me 5 bullets about what you've done at Tesla lately? That, raises eyebrows.
Ben, yesterday we had, or last night, the president come out and in a Truth post say he's going to go out and buy a Tesla in the morning. He talked about the fact that Elon's, quote, baby is under attack and people want to do harm to Elon. If Trump comes out and buy a Tesla, is that bullish or bearish for the shares?
I think that it's good that he supports, and I agree that, Musk is an important person in the United States, globally. But I think there's, a lot of people that are indifferent to Musk at best. And, one point that I'd like to make when we're talking about demand is if, we read about, people's cars getting keyed or in worst case scenarios, set on fire. If I'm indifferent or even a Musk supporter, I might pause before I go buy a Tesla. But our call is not that. Our call is that numbers are too high because of production issues in Q1, but that's going to extend the narrative of demand destruction in longer term.
But it's not just demand destruction potentially in the United States. When it comes to Musk and his political involvement with the president and Doge, we're also seeing this in Germany and people pushing back because his support for far-right German party. How do you pinpoint potential political erosion of the shares?
It's difficult, and that's where uncertainty is, and that's why the stock can't go up until, I hate to keep repeating myself, until numbers come down on the street, because it's going to continue that narrative. But I think that Europe counts for about 25% of sales. I think the demand destruction is actually happening there versus the United States. Now, those numbers get kind of iffy because they are having production issues right now. But I think in Europe, people take this a lot more seriously when they're buying a car than the Uber driver, in New York City.